Welcome back, Smite fans. Good morning, good afternoon, and all of those hello things. My name is Tiger, joined on the desk with Aggro, and Mondays are all about the NASCL. And of course, we're going to go ahead and start with the most exciting thing, Worlds. All of these teams are fighting to go to the hi-rez expo. You too can go. You don't have to fight. You don't have to go to LANs. You can come here to Georgia, meet everybody here, and meet Peckies at hi-rezexpo.com. Get your tickets there. First up on the docket, Eager versus Aware.
It's going to be a really awesome set to watch. We saw Eager and Aware clash earlier in the split. Eager was able to take the 2-0, but that was when Aware was sort of in this turmoil. They had just lost their jungler. Now, on the other hand, they have just found their jungler. The Mollusk coming over from the PC side, has some experience in the Challenger Cup there. Let's see how he does against a top-tier opponent like Eager. I'm really excited.
And I've enjoyed watching Mollusk in the Challengers Cup, but seeing him transition over has been fantastic. He had great games last week, but Eager and Aware. Eager sitting at the top right now with 13 points. Aware trailing in third place right now with 11. So this is their opportunity to just sneak forward.
This is huge. This is a huge week for all teams, basically, especially Aware, Elevate, and Soar, because we only have, this is the fourth, we've got 3 weeks left after this to qualify for LAN. So you have to be really fighting for those top spots, really making sure that you're going to be able to qualify for that. So this is huge. I mean, if Aware can put themselves into first place with a 2-0 today, that would be a huge step for them getting a great seed for LAN.
Yeah, but Aware are going to have to take down Eager. Last week we saw them. Delta had great games with Vulcan, had a great Zeus game. Even Dwurst was rocking out the Sun Wukong, so Aware really have their work cut out for him.
You never know who's going to carry for Eager. You just know someone's probably going to end up having a really good game. Like you mentioned last week, Delta, Marine, and Dwurst on the forefront. This week it could be Cougar, Jelly, Myflin. I mean, let's be fair though, Myflin did get a 5-man taunt last week.
Oh my goodness, it was so nice into the Zeus ultimate. But
yeah,
we're going to have to see just exactly how this pans out. Picks and bans ready for game 1 of Eager versus Aware. Any things you want to see immediately coming out from Aware?
You know, we saw Mollusk have a great game on Circuit last week, so I wouldn't be surprised if they leave open Guan Yu. Guan Yu kind of gets shut down by that ultimate from Circuit, stopping the healing using that last breath. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Aware be willing to give up Guan Yu, but Eager maybe identifying that themselves, saying, we're not going to let you have that option. We'll take Guan Yu away ourselves.
And the sustain is really nice, so you definitely don't want to have that again going against you. And a Nemesis banned out as well. Zeus. Makes sense. Don't take it for themselves. Don't give it to Aware.
No, you don't want to give that to Boronic. Boronic played it so well the first week of the SCL that he hasn't been able to play it since. Everyone has been banning it away. So no surprise there to see it. I mean, Delta Marine can play it, yes. We saw him have a great game on it last week, but able to take it away. And instead of locking in Fafnir, Eager taking away Susano.
I mean, we saw Jelly play it really well last week, and Susano is all about those little picks. It's not even about getting those early kills. It's just pulling people out of tower, pulling them out of their comfort zone, and just starting to bully early on.
Just great poke, great team fight ultimate, great mobility. Susano really brings it all to the table out of the jungle. And we've seen Aware, if I'm not mistaken, pass up Fafnir on multiple occasions in the last few weeks. And yeah, here it is. So now Eager has the opportunity to get that priority pick in Fafnir here. We know Myflin does play it a decent amount. We'll see if that's what they want to go with the Geb-Vulcan combination.
I mean, and if Eager, if they want to pick up, I mean, they can pick up Soul, could be mid or ADC, but Fafnir available. Jing going to get picked up, however, so that Soul more than likely is going to be going into the mid lane.
Yeah, this is a god that Delta Marine extremely comfortable with. He picked it a ton in the last split and in the SCL Summer Finals. We haven't seen him as much on it this split, but still a god that we know he could be very comfortable on. And Jing Wei, AirCougar made a huge impact with Jing Wei last week. No surprise to see him pick it up again here. This is a really, really strong team comp thus far for Eager, but there's not a whole lot of synergy. It's just these gods do a lot of damage and do very well in their roles, whereas Aware seems to be going more for a core. They've got the Neith ultimate coming out of the duo lane to set up kills around the map. Vulcan and Geb work very well together, the double knockup potential there, as well as, you know, a blink cataclysm into an Earthshaker is going to instantly win you a team fight. So Aware going for a more team-oriented draft thus far, whereas Eager is going a little bit more skill-oriented, focusing more on the players.
And see, I'm liking the respect ban coming out. They are going to ban out that Circuit. Mollusk not going to be able to take that into the jungle. A Wheelish banned out as well. And Aware Gaming focusing in on those supports, Athena and Fafnir, which means Eager going to pick up a Xing.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be Xing Chen support. Myflin kind of expanding the god pool a little bit. Now, Brochacho, my old teammate in support, was a huge advocate for Xing Chen support. He loved playing it, and in his defense, we won almost every game he played on it. But I don't know, it feels more like a solo lane god to me. But he does bring that CC, the knock up into the root, as well as the whirlwind of Rage and Steel. The wind up and the pitch, if you will.
The wind up and the pitch. Last up for Aware Gaming, however, Ravana and Ratatoskr. So going to see Mollusk being able to global ultimate his way across the map, help out his teammates. I'm kind of curious to see how he's going to fare on a global ultimate god. We saw him on Circuit, who's very small, very just there.
Yes, he was. That's still a mobile god. Ratatoskr also a mobile god, but it looks like this game it's actually going to be Giliara in the jungle filling in for Jelly. So a little bit of surprise there. I don't think we were quite aware of that.
No, I was not aware of that.
Aware of that, if you will. It's so easy, man. I try not to, especially with easy ones like that, but we both said it and it was just right there.
I try not to either, just because I know, but I'm not Hindu, so we can throw out a couple of puns if you want.
Yeah, thank you. Someone finally respects my
Putting us
ability.
together is very, very dangerous. But early on, danger for Myflin right now, getting pushed out just a little bit. Aware Gaming putting the pressure on all points on the map, taking the fire imps as well as the right mid harpies.
A little bit of an extra lead for them thus far, and Myflin getting poked out. Oh, barely able to dodge that. Route there. He could have been in a lot of trouble though. It looks like we don't have any game sound at this point, but production assures me that we're working on that, chat. But speaking of getting worked on, Dwurst, that's the second wave in the solo lane, and he just got soloed by DoctorL.
And see, Dwurst is really good on Sun Wukong. He knows what he can and can't get away with, and he just could not get away from DoctorL on that Ravana right now. So that's going to be first blood coming out from Aware Gaming, and I didn't get to see it.
So not only did Ravana get those fire imps, he also gets that first blood. So now he's sitting 450 gold up, and that's not where you want to be when you're a Sun Wukong, is behind a Ravana like that. You've got no sustain to deal with the poke that Ravana's going to be able to give you. And as if he wasn't a big enough lane bully, always pushing the pace, always trying to be the one to initiate the contact in that solo lane. Now, when he's ahead, it's going to be really scary. Look at that. Already being able to back and buy reinforced Greaves. It isn't even 2 minutes yet, Tiger.
Yeah, that's really good for Aware. That's really good for DoctorL. Because Ravana, bully is a really good word. Also nuisance, obnoxious. Those are also great words. You see Dwurst once again getting pushed out, forced to use that bull to get into the safety of his tower. DoctorL doing magic over in the solo.
So now DoctorL has to be able to transition this into a more significant lead. Yeah, I mean, 700 gold at this point is a huge lead, but I want to see him rotate into that right side of the jungle. He should be there on the speed buff spawn right away. You do not want to let Eager have it.
Take advantage of it. Good pull coming out, and then the teleport coming out from Giliara just to get a little closer to Mollusk, but the rat is going to be fine. But I'm loving the poke coming out from Aware in the mid lane. I'm loving it over in the duo. They're doing so good this early on.
That's a big play there in the middle lane because they did force Mollusk to use that Wrath to stop the aggression coming out from Giliara. So now whenever they go and invade the speed buff like they probably should, because of the late lead in the solo lane, they won't have that Wrath available. Well, Gilly does have the Wrath available. So now it should be Eager securing the speed buff, but I'd still like to see Aware fighting over it. You don't want to give it to him for free.
Myflin getting a little aggressive, just trying to get a little bit of poke damage onto Kenshin while Cougar goes, but here comes the wind up. The whirlwind, Rage and Steel gonna push him back and force him to use the sprint.
You're okay with trading sprint every time. Here's the aggression onto the speed buff. There it is. Gilly secures it, but there he goes! A huge double ultimate. The knockup into the Earthshaker, deleted on the speed buff. He got it, but then he lost his life.
Excellent timing coming out from Delta Marine as well. Using the disapparate as soon as you saw that Neith was channeling that ultimate, so he's not going to get stunned out. You burn that ultimate, and you get away just fine.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see on that speed buff, is DoctorL coming in, just making his presence known.
Look at the trade-off, though. Look at the trade-off. Team Eager trying to go in for this damage camp, but they're getting pinched between Kenshin and Mollusk gonna find Dwurst instead. But now Cougar just wants to go ahead and try and get onto the back line instead of being on the front with the 3 members of Aware.
Myflin just dashed in now into 3 members. Yeah, he has Cougar here with him, but he might still be in trouble. Slowed by the knockup, and that's gonna... Oh, the great meditation.
And then the Typhoon knocks up one, gets rid of everybody else, and Delta gonna find the kill onto Boronic. Good pull onto Kenshin as well, forcing out that shield. I love it.
Love the patience there from Myflin, just waiting until the very last second to really bait all of Aware into that tiny corridor, right into where Delta Marine was waiting. And we saw the comfort that Delta Marine has on that Soul there, hitting almost every strike of that Supernova. That is not easy to do in any sort of scenario, but over the wall, predicting exactly where Vulcan would get knocked up and where he would move after that, able to secure it just barely. And that's really big because whenever you're behind like this, as Eager, you've lost your speed buff. Dwurst is 0-2 already, down over 1,000 gold to DoctorL in the solo lane. You need someone who's going to be able to do damage to that big, tanky Raven, and Soul has to be the one to do it.
I did want to mention that the reason he stayed alive, the patience coming out from Myflin in that fight, also, he popped the meditation. I don't think they realized he had it, or they thought maybe he already spent it, or wouldn't have the presence of mind to use it. But the patience coming out is very nice from both teams, but no, Dwurst doing an absolutely fantastic job. Just trying to stay alive even though he's 0-2 and 0 against Raven, who's now level 9. Look at that.
Yeah, he's huge. But that being said, Delta Marine is level 8 already, so that there is some good news. Oh, baited into the left lane.
The bait, Cameron channeling the ultimate. Jing trying to come in and get a play. Mollusk up into the air in the cosmos, trying to find the crash. And gonna find the knockup. He needs one more hit. Cameron gonna be able to find Cougs, and now they're chasing out Mollusk, but I don't think Myflin's gonna be able to catch the rat.
Nice double root off the weave there. Here comes the ultimate from Myflin. Gonna toss Mollusk into the wall. Dies to the Supernova and the Stellar Burst combination.
Yeah, but the rest of the team of Aware is here, trying to find the meatball, not gonna connect, and Boronic not gonna find himself on the forefront of this fight.
Myflin's had a really strong phase thus far. Just being able to recognize there that Myflin doesn't have any purification available. He's gone for the Wrath. He doesn't have any way to get out of that whirlwind of Rage and Steel if he burns his dash and if he uses ultimate. So there, he waits for him to burn his dash and then is able to do it. And you saw there, Dwurst goes to get the back camps that DoctorL had gotten about 5 seconds earlier.
Yep, and I mean, Mollusk gonna find his first death so far, but hopefully not gonna stall him out too much. 1-1 and 2. His rotations are still gonna be strong, especially with Giliara not being able to pick himself up like that. He's not gonna be able to compete as well as Mollusk, so I don't feel like he's at too big of a disadvantage.
No, you're right. The Ratatoskr does have better gank potential due to the mobility. Just being able to jump up into the air, use those tree branches, and get wherever he needs to go, basically. But if you're gonna have a jungler that doesn't have a global ultimate that can rotate as fast as a Ratatoskr, it's gonna be Susano. The double dash available to him, plus that passive of gaining movement speed whenever his abilities are on cooldown. He can rotate with the best of them, even without a global.
I think my favorite Susano meme is Super Fast Anime Man. And
I don't think I've seen that one. Is it
no,
solid?
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoy it. And Giliara doing a very good job of showing exactly why he earned that title. The dashes, being able to teleport right to where the storm is. Eager, gonna go ahead and lock down these left mid camps just cleanly, quickly. Aware Gaming couldn't even come in and steal.
So for me, this game is going to boil down to DoctorL and how well he can push this lead, and how well Delta Marine can kind of put Eager onto his back. I mean, in a lot of teams thus far in Season 3, feeding the mid laner has been a common practice. You know, mid lanes are very strong right now in the meta, but specifically for Eager, they love to just let Delta Marine get farm and just hop in the backpack. That's usually their game plan, and it's a good one to have because it usually works out. I mean, we see it reflected in their record, tied for first place right now in the SCL, but especially whenever you're missing your jungler, you're missing that core piece that goes with your mid laner, it is that much harder for him to do his job of carrying.
And the jungler sets the pace of the game. If your jungler isn't on the same page as you, if they're, oh man, hold on, Myflin, not gonna find the wind-up Cameron, gonna backflip and just put on the juke shoes.
He had the extra jump available too. He had the extra the second part of the 2-part jump, but he thought he had him because he forced the purification early. It was perfect until he didn't use that second jump. I cursed him, man. I said he was having a really good game, and then he just totally messed up.
It's the caster.
I'm sorry,
it's
Myflin.
the caster's curse.
I blame myself.
It's legitimate though. Rotations coming over onto the gold for you. We're 8 minutes and 45 seconds in. 2-4 staying the kills. 2-kill deficit. Aware Gaming sitting nice and pretty right now, but this can turn with the blink of an eye, with one objective.
The late game potential here for Eager is significantly stronger than Aware's. Here comes Mollusk around the back, misses the dash, and takes a ton of damage in return.
Yeah, but now Delta Marine forced into the disapparate, just trying to get back to the safety of the tower. Mollusk gonna be chased on by Giliara, but gonna have that rat dash into the 2 members of Aware.
So I was just about to touch on it before Mollusk made that gank. The late game potential here for Eager is significantly stronger than Aware's. Yes, Aware has Vulcan, who's extremely potent in the late game, but really outside of that, they've gone mostly for early. Ratatoskr really strong in the mid game, not so much in the hyper late game. Susano also kind of falls off in the hyper late game, but characters like Jing and Soul do not. Those characters can... Where did Cougar go? He was there like 2 seconds ago. I was talking about your comp, Cougar.
And Cougar got erased by Mollusk, who just came over and just did rat things. But now he may get pinched between 3 members here, or Myflin may get pinched between 3 members of Aware. Giliara trying to stay alive, get the juke shoes as DoctorL starts rotating. There's a 3-level difference. Meanwhile, the Gold Fury still getting aggressed upon Magma Bomb, gonna miss. Kenshin gonna find the Cataclysm, Vulcan ult coming through, and that's gonna be a Gold Fury for Aware.
But Delta Marine does pick up DoctorL on the back end. Not all bad there for Eager. Able to secure their speed buff, it looks. Oh no, that speed buff was stolen away by DoctorL as well. So DoctorL just using his huge advantage that we've been talking about a lot to just pull 3 members of Eager to that right side, opening up that Gold Fury. Myflin unable to get in there and steal it, tried his best, but this is a nice lead developing for Aware, and with their team composition that they've drafted, this is what they have to do. They have to get this lead at this point in the game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, because I'm loving DoctorL's rotations. He's doing everything. Hold on, Cameron taking a lot of damage. Jing, wait, Cougar just having his way with this Neith. One more hit and Cameron is gone. But I wanted to ask, for Aware, when do they need to tie this in? When does this need to be done before Eager come online?
They should have a 5 to 6K gold lead in the next 9 minutes. They should get the next Gold Fury, be invading buffs, and push down some towers before the 20-minute mark hits. Because once you get to 25 minutes, 26 minutes, that's when the 2 hyper carries for Eager, Jingwei and Soul, are gonna start to do more than you could probably handle on the side of Aware. So you don't want to set the timer for the exact time where it becomes a problem. You want to set the timer a little bit before. You want to set your goal for a little bit before that, so you have a little bit of wiggle room. Your window of execution isn't quite as narrow. So this way, if Aware can get that 5 to 6K gold lead in the next 9 to 10 minutes, they'll be in a great spot. And look at that, they're already at 3K, so they only need to get basically 1 more Gold Fury and a tower in order to achieve that.
I mean, that might be hard considering, or it might be easy considering DoctorL with the rotations. He's doing a very good job of being obnoxious. We only saw him a couple of times in Myflin, taking a little bit of damage, but if Cameron continues to chase, that might be bad. He's channeling the ultimate, but he does have Jingwei here. Geb rotating over, and they're going to take those XP boars instead.
Just using the threat of getting hit by that ultimate to dissuade Cougar from contesting those boars, as well as the fact that Cougar's purification is down from that gank from Mollusk on the left-hand side a little bit ago. He has to respect it a little bit more and give up that farm.
Yeah, but there's no respect in the mid lane, trying to get as much poke off as possible. The placement of the turrets so far in this game when it comes to Boronic, how are they faring?
Fairly well. You want to keep it far enough away from the wave that Soul can't hit it with her Stellar Burst, but now it's going to be 5 against Delta Marine right now.
Oh, Delta. Forced into the disapparate. DoctorL making a hot rotation, but Ratatoskr coming in. Boronic with the ultimate, obliterating. And Myflin going to be able to take out Mollusk, but at this point, Aware Gaming have the opening that they want, and now they're going to keep trying to push it. Kenshin over in the front, just trying to be obnoxious. A Cataclysm going to be good, and now Sun Wukong in a pretty bad spot. Into the somersault cloud he goes.
Aware's gonna have to back up here. Just not enough damage on their side to poke out these tanky characters from Eager, but what an ultimate there from Boronic.
Nice.
Way downtown. Predicts exactly where Delta Marine's gonna go. Hits him on the back end of that disapparator.
Yeah,
awesome.
the timing was the biggest part for me, but the fight is still going on. Dwurst trying to find the slow. Gonna get pulled back by Giliara, who's now in the back line, taking a little bit of damage from Neith. Cameron with the lifesteal, but now gonna find a nice cudgel in the back line onto Boronic.
Right now, Eager should be spreading out and farming. There's nothing that's gonna happen in this middle lane. You're down right now. Spread out, get as much farm as you can on the map. You don't want to be 3-way splitting mid waves when there's a wave available to you in the solo lane. There's back camps on the left side, a speed buff on the right side, a full wave and a half on the left side. This is what Eager needs to be doing. When you're behind, you want to split up and be as efficient with your farm as possible. However, you need to be careful because if you spread yourself too thin, you're just trying to soak up as much farm. Exactly. A character like Ratatoskr is able to just jump up into the sky and knock you down basically instantly. The only one who doesn't have to be as worried about that Ratatoskr ultimate is AirCougar. Now, we saw him get killed by it earlier, but if he gets knocked up by that ult, he does have the agility available. Jing able to do something whenever she's knocked up. The only character in the game that can interact whenever she's been knocked up. So you're able to actually use your 3 as soon as you're knocked up and dash away super far, way farther than Rat can chase you for. So as long as he has that 3 up and the initial damage isn't going to kill him, Cougar should be okay on that left-hand side.
Mollusk using the ultimate to get away from any damage from Delta Marine. He didn't have any members of his team there to try and find a pick. Instead, uses that ultimate, meets with 2 other members of Aware, take the red buff, gonna head back, get some gold.
He's okay with trading out the ultimate there, not too worried about it, just being able to make sure that he's not going to get picked off. He is 2, 2, and 3 right now, but his net worth is very high, second highest in the game right now. So as you know, your kill bounty is based off of your net worth, as well as any sort of kill streaks you have going on, anything like that. But so whenever you have a ton of farm, you're worth more gold to the other team dead, and so you don't want to be giving up that bounty to the other team.
The only problem, Mollusk isn't going to have his ult. Gold Fury is up now. He does have the Wrath in 2 seconds, so definitely will have it if there's an engagement, but he's not going to have that ultimate to crash on in through the Cosmos with.
No, but it should be up fairly soon. There is some CDR built into that Acorn that he builds. Electing to go straight for the Runic Shield after Void Shield, a little bit surprising. You'll see most Ratatoskrs go for the Jotun's Wrath, but trying to shut down the Soul instead.
Yeah, but going to try to shut down this Gold Fury as well. 4 members of Aware Gaming going to go ahead and start dishing as much damage as possible, but Cougar is here zoning. They're going to go ahead and leash that, get rid of the turret, and that's just a healthy disengage.
Just a little bit scared of Giliara there, having that Wrath available. Susano's so difficult to lock down. Yes, you should be able to get it. You should be able to knock him up with Geb or the Meatball, prevent him from getting in there, but when you've got this kind of lead, really Aware wants to fight here. Yes, they want the Gold Fury, but they want to take it after they kill members of Eager.
Yeah, they only have a couple of minutes before they hit that threshold you were talking about. We're going to have a teleport over. Mollusk jumping in with the ultimate as well. DoctorL is here to go ahead and try to find whatever he can. The wind-up going to be good, only sending out 1, but burning the purification from Boronic. Meanwhile, on the backline, DoctorL going to kick to get out of jail. Delta Marine barely missing out on the ultimate, but Giliara getting a giant chunk of damage coming through. And now the fight still continues, but the Gold Fury's been leashed again.
Dwurst is going to go up into the air now. Everyone's looking at DoctorL, but he's level 17, just not taking any damage from anyone on Eager. Dwurst comes crashing down, trading out some more poke damage, but Aware is totally okay with that. However, a meditation from Eager tops them off. They're a little bit healthier now than Aware is.
And Aware, they need kills or they need this Gold Fury. Team Eager going to go ahead and back off, and now it looks like Cameron going to lifesteal off the Gold Fury, but not start it up again because Myflin is still here. This is huge for Aware. They're in the lead, but they need to keep it that way. They need to keep bolstering up that gold.
That just wasn't the right fight. A couple of missed abilities there. Yes, the Earthshaker came down and hit Gilly, but it was a little bit late. We saw Kenshin blink in and use that Cataclysm. The Earthshaker needs to be in the air before the blink goes off. That needs to be communicated. I'm looking for blinking. I'm looking to blink on this character. If you only hit 1, fine, but you need to execute that person. It needs to work like an Ao Kuang execute. Blink Cataclysm into the Earthshaker, into the knockup, will execute Soul at this point in the game. So you need to be they need to be a little bit tighter on that. It's a tight window to execute on, but if they're able to do it, they could instantly have won that Gold Fury fight.
And Eager, in my opinion, won that engagement by far. They kept the Gold Fury from being stolen. They didn't give Aware any gold from giving kills. So at this point, Eager's just playing the waiting game. They know they have the late game, so they just want to get to that point and keep Aware from that.
Exactly. We see it already starting to trying to catch up. AirCougar a level up now on Cameron, only down about 100 gold, so that power farming potential that we see out of Jing, using that rapid reincarnation passive to the fullest, being able to back and then pick up back harpies right away off of it, just being able to get out of the base so quickly, more quickly than any other character. It's basically a free teleport almost. You start to see the fact that AirCougar is getting to that late game faster than Aware would like.
And that's not good, especially on Jing. We've seen Jing clean up before. She's 1, 2, and 1, building up those items. Already has the dev gaunts full as well, so she's already building up that lifesteal. Has no issues sustaining herself in a fight, especially when it comes to boxing. But for the moment, a little bit of a word fight over at the Gold Fury. Aware need this. It's 18 minutes, 35 seconds in. They're only separated by 1 kill now, which is a little bit different than the story we were telling earlier on.
Oh, here comes the initiation into the middle lane. The ultimate just off the mark from Vulcan, but Delta Marine's still in trouble here.
Delta Marine throwing down the Supernova, trying to get away, going to maximize the distance, and a 3-man knockup coming out from the Typhoon, going to keep Aware off of
DoctorL's coming around the back. Here he comes. Delta Marine instantly deleted. Now Gilly's in a ton of trouble. No dashes available, I don't think. Myflin trying to throw Boronic into the tower, but the purification is good. They're trying to dive Boronic in the backline, but a great meditation keeps him up.
And they're going to keep looking for it. Giliara going to be able to teleport in if he wants to, but for the most part, they're looking for Boronic. Dwurst wants to find that Cudgel, wants to find that last hit, wants to find something. Meanwhile, Cougar forced to use his Sanctuary just to avoid the damage because they were not letting him up. DoctorL going to get stunned out and then knocked up, and then going to go ahead and back off. Sanctuary coming out from Cameron as well.
That's both actives for Cameron there, just zoning out the rest of the members. Dwurst trying to get into Boronic, but not able to find it. Gilly just has not been effective so far this game, and it's starting to show in these team fights.
That was a really nice 2-man pull. However, none of Eager were there, or none of Eager, there was no call to go ahead and capitalize on it, even though they were really low. So at that point, that's a gigantic missed opportunity.
And that's sort of something that you see a decent amount whenever you've got a substitute playing for your team. The level of communication just isn't going to be there, especially whenever it's a big setup character like Susano can be, with those pulls, with the multi-man knockups. Not having your typical jungler there, not being the normal person there with the communication really throws it all off. Just not being able to follow up exactly when you want to. Gilly level 14, he's had his speed buff invaded just over and over again because of the lead that DoctorL got on that right-hand side. So not able to farm as well as he would have liked, but in it starting to show off. I mean, he's bottom of the damage charts right now, below Geb even.
Yeah, he's not having the easiest time, but right now, Aware Gaming sneaking the Gold Fury, nobody nearby. Jingwei turned the corner. Cougar wanted to try and do something, but he was too late. They used the secure coming out from the Vulcan ult, and now Mollusk copping up into the air. AirCougar seems a likely target. Gonna find the knockup, gonna find the ultimate as well, forcing out Cougar into the airstrike, and now he's just trying to get away.
He caught the dash with the ultimate, able to knock up that agility. Cougar should just be more patient with that. Yes, he's about to get Neith ulted, so he's gonna get stunned, but the stun shouldn't last long enough that he won't be able to use that agility out. You can get more distance whenever you use it when knocked up. You see Jingweis do it all the time, laying that persistent gust at their feet, knocking themselves up to get it.
3-man rotation over to the left side. Meanwhile, the Supernova gonna take out Boronic. He goes once, it comes back, they take it out, but 3 men from Aware looking at this left-hand tier 1 tower on the duo side. Kenshin gonna take a little bit of tower damage, but Myflin and Cougar able to keep it.
Gilly didn't look like a sub there. Perfect execution, the double ultimate to secure Boronic, who had no relics left. Dwurst gonna TP in to defend this left-hand tower, but DoctorL's just gonna keep on farming on that right-hand side, almost level 20 now.
And Gilly and Delta are going to be able to take the enemy damage camp here as they keep going. And Dwurst turning around the aggression that Eager had, or that Aware had, and turning it on the heads. They're going for this tier 1 tower. They're going to find it. They may even find a kill if Cameron's not careful.
They're going to be able to back up, do get that tier 1 tower, but DoctorL probably going to be able to get this tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. Gilly's going to come in and try and stop him, but doesn't have that ultimate available quite yet. And he's level 20 now is DoctorL. Gilly only level 15. He's going to have a tough time defending it.
Yeah, there's a 5-level difference. Meanwhile, Delta Marine getting chased by Mollusk and Cameron. The ultimate being channeled. No disapparate to get out. Sanctuary going to be used, and Mollusk starting to take that tower damage, but it's not going to be enough if he keeps going. Delta Marine going to fall. Cameron getting credit for the kill.
Just getting a little bit too greedy, going for that tier 2 tower in middle lane. Almost got it, but paid for it with his life and the use of his Sanctuary. Gilly was able to defend that tier 2 tower on the right-hand side, but now Myflin gonna throw Kenshin into the team. This is just an initiation for him.
And the whirlwind coming through, just barely off the mark with the Vulcan ultimate. Now Jingwei gonna find her spot to come down. Dwurst waiting to crash on in as well from the somersault cloud. Cougar gonna be able to get away from DoctorL. He has no way to lock her down once his root is gone.
Nice poke going on onto Giliara, or excuse me, onto Mollusk there. But Myflin needs to be really careful using that ultimate to throw Kenshin into his team. We've seen it twice now. He's basically giving Kenshin a second blink. He's throwing him into his team, and that's not what you want. You don't want a Geb in the middle of your team with other members of Aware around, because you're just giving him a free multi-man Cataclysm.
Yeah, that Cataclysm would definitely come in handy, but Mala is starting to look at the speed camp here. Giliara going to be just shy, using the Wrath to secure it. Just keep trying to stall out Gilly.
And it's working thus far. Now he has passed Dwurst on the player damage list, but still not where you want him to be. Susano, definitely one of the characters that excels the most at poking out the opposition and going in, getting free, safe poke on the enemy. And that's what Igor's comp is actually really, really good at. You look at the poke coming out from Soul with the Stellar Burst, the Furious Roar for Myflin. We've seen how much poke damage Myflin has done. He's second on his team right now in damage. And as well as Susano, you would think that there'd be able to be a lot of poke, and without any sustain on Aware, it was a good game plan going in, but Gilly just has not been effective in dealing out that poke.
And they really need that CC. They need that poke. They need the bullying aspect coming through. And speaking of bullies, I know Dwurst is 0-2-0, but he's still doing a fantastic job of being that nuisance. He's not top of the player damage, but he's still a giant part of the team fights.
He does need to do more damage though. Yes, he's CCing well. Yes, he's sort of stabilized after that rough start. Still hasn't died again after that second death, but still, at the bottom of the player damage charts, that's not where he needs to be.
Myflin 1v2, not gonna find the Whirlwind, instead just gonna look at Geb empty-handed, but Geb coming through, looking to get a little bit of damage onto Delta. Meanwhile, into the Cosmos goes Ratatoskr, waiting to crash on down, but with the team scattering, there's no real opportunity for him to find anybody.
No, but Aware's just buying time right now. Look at Cameron, pushing out this wave on the left-hand side. Now Igor realizes it and is starting to rotate over, but it's only gonna be Delta Marine, and here comes AirCougar flying in.
This has been the second time this has happened. Cameron gonna get pushed out. Cougar not gonna find the agility. Instead, Cameron gonna be able to backflip away. Meanwhile, on the other side, Dwurst gonna miss the cudgel. No root coming out from DoctorL as well. So kind of at a standstill.
Cougar's going to be in trouble on the left-hand side here. Mollusk going in for the gank, forces the purification right away, and it looks like the fight is completely split right now, and this is what Aware wants. They're so far ahead that they can split up Igor and take these fights.
Yeah, but Delta Marine trying to find the damage onto Kenshin with the Stellar Burst, but instead just going to slow him down. Typhoon being channeled, going to find the knockup. Marine going to find Kenshin in the back line. DoctorL going to go ahead and head back to the front line with the rest of his team, and there's only one left, and that's poor Boronic.
Poor little Boronic's probably gonna fall here. Yeah, Vulcan not able to get away from the mobility, but all the while the Gold Fury gonna fall for Aware yet again. This is gonna be the third Gold Fury for Aware so far this game.
And is that worth to trade out Kenshin and Boronic for that Gold Fury?
I mean, we can take a look at the graphs right now, but it's probably going to be, yes, worth it. You can see the gold continuing to drop farther and farther. Here we are at 25 minutes, the 8K gold lead. Gilly's going to die to the Fire Giant. DoctorL rooted him in place for the knockup. Wow, that unfortunate timing there for Gilly, but you got to be at the right place at the right time. He definitely wasn't there. Huge knockup.
Nice knockup coming out from Mollusk. The airstrike coming through as well. Whirlwind gonna force out the purifications. DoctorL looking very low, trying to find the root onto Cougs, but now Cougs gonna be able to turn all the aggression onto him, but Cameron gonna find him, and now they're gonna keep going into the fight. Delta Marine gonna take out Mollusk and then get out of dodge.
A huge amount of burst damage there coming out from the Disapparate Trail. Myflin gonna fall to Cameron. Now Kenshin wants to find Dwurst as well. Knocks up the 72 transformation, but he's probably going to be out here. Cameron does have the ultimate available if they really want to chase this heavily, but a good idea by them to sort of just back up. And Igor, once they recognize that the Gold Fury is going down on the left-hand side, that Cameron's still there, that Mollusk is there, they turn their attention to the Fire Giant, but the problem is that DoctorL is still massive. There's only one level 20 on the side of Igor and Delta Marine, and they aren't able to deal with him quite as effectively as they would like at this point. Gilly gets picked right away, and all of a sudden you're at a huge disadvantage. Plus Mollusk coming in at the perfect time, crashing down into the middle of multiple people trying to chase down DoctorL.
And now Aware Gaming have free reign of the jungle. Giliara here trying to take what he can, but he's being denied all of the farm, especially now that Aware are able to go anywhere they want. Giliara gonna hunker down, take down this mana camp. Meanwhile, Aware Gaming probably gonna start a Fire Giant dance.
I mean, they only have one tower left to worry about, and that's on that right-hand side. I would almost rather see them push that down. You want to just force the little fights. Going to the Fire Giant, while a good idea for Aware at this point, is still a little bit risky. It's always a little bit risky because if they don't tank it correctly, something goes wrong. They're able, Soul comes in, gets a huge supernova that knocks you into the Fire Giant knockup and you're dead, and Eager steals the Fire Giant. It's worst case scenario, and we saw that last week for Aware. They threw the game after pushing down some Phoenixes. It wasn't at the Fire Giant, but that potential is still there. And after you do that in the last week, it's always in the back of your mind. You want to be a little bit safer this week. Pushing down this right-hand tower, you either force Eager to give it to you or you extend that lead, which makes the next Fire Giant fight even easier.
And the Cosmos being used, going to crash down. Not going to find the knockup onto anybody, however, but chasing down Myflin, going to find the stun, but the sprint has been popped. The Neith ultimate going to be good, but Myflin pops the meditation to keep alive. Going to find two in the whirlwind, toss him into the tower, into the soul damage, but Myflin's still the prime target.
Mollusk getting low. Here's the Geb Shield. The Earthshaker coming up over the top, not going to find anyone. Now Kenshin left alone in the jungle.
And they're just going to keep finding him, but he is going to be able to roll out away. Giliara not going to be able to teleport, but meanwhile on the back line, DoctorL trying to find Delta, not going to find the root, but instead still wants to put as much pressure as possible while the rest of his team can collapse on somebody else.
But here comes Dwurst, identifying that Delta Marine was in trouble, immediately coming over, trying to pick off DoctorL since he has no ultimate available. But a nice rotation also coming from Aware, recognizing that everyone was starting to collapse onto their Raven, immediately coming over to give him some support.
And we're getting to that point where I feel like Aware Gaming are realizing the same tricks, the same damage-dealing abilities aren't going to erase Eager as much anymore. There's a lot more experience, there's level 20s, we have defensive items online. They're not making the same impact that they were in the first set.
I mentioned it at the outset of the game. Once we get to 26, 27 minutes around there, that's when you're going to start to see the hyper carries from Eager start to come online, and we see it now. The top two damage dealers on Eager, Jingwei and Soul, exactly what you would expect. But look at the items now complete for those two characters. Rod of Tahuti finished after that last fight for Delta Marine. Cougar has Keen Size and Titan's Mane available to him now. Going to be able to shred DoctorL significantly better than he was before. So now, Aware, yes, they have a massive 10K lead. But whenever you're going to be fighting around the Fire Giant, these big items are available now for Eager. They have to be careful.
My question, why is Myflin such a priority instead of some of the squishies? Hold on, we have Mollusk crashing in, looking for Giliara once again, but going to be able to dash away, and Delta Marine there as well.
Well, if you look at the player damage charts, Myflin is kind of a priority because he's third. Now he's caught out, going to use the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, throwing DoctorL in, but a great Blink Cataclysm. He's dead. Cameron's going to find Myflin.
Yep, and then in the backline, Cougar using the Sanctuary just to keep himself alive a little bit longer. The Vulcan, gonna erase Giliara in the backline. Now, Neith ultimate being channeled. Gab trying to find a little bit of extra CC on it. Delta Marine gonna get taken out by the Magma Bomb. That's one spicy meatball.
That is a spicy meatball. That's the character you need to kill if you're gonna be sieging down this right-hand Phoenix.
Woof.
A beautiful series of ultimates there. The Cataclysm finds Myflin. The Earthshaker over the top finds Gilly. He was half health. And it just erased him. Barely any magical protection available to him. That's one Phoenix down the right-hand side. Now Aware looking at the middle Phoenix, and they're going to go for the third as well.
Absolutely, why not? AirCougar and Dwurst, the only ones here to really defend right now. The rest of the team is down. DoctorL looking pretty low, and with this airstrike going to do a lot of damage. Mollusk forced up into the air just to keep away, but Aware Gaming looking very low.
Eager did defend that left-hand Phoenix.
Boronic
going to be the sacrificial lamb. Blows
again.
The purification there, which is pretty bad for him. Yes, they don't get that left-hand Phoenix, which is bad for them as well, but they have those two Phoenixes down. Going to have multiple fire waves pouring into the Titan room. But whenever Boronic respawns, he's not going to have that purification available. That's a great way for Eager to claw back into the fight right away. Just picking off Boronic instantly would be huge. We saw how much damage he did.
Look at this chase. Dwurst chased all the way up to the enemy side. Didn't even care that Mollusk was there, and now Mollusk gonna do whatever he can to try and tack him down. But they are so dedicated. They want these kills so bad.
Dwurst just wanted to prevent DoctorL from backing so that Eager could do just this. Look at the Fire Giant. But you see DoctorL did get a chance to back, is able to teleport in. A big Cataclysm locks Myflin in place. They're committing to the Fire Giant.
And it's getting really low already. Typhoon coming through, and Eager gonna take the Fire Giant, gonna be able to secure it for themselves, but now they're getting erased. Aware, already taking down two members. Dwurst, Marine, and Cougar, the only ones left.
That was a last-ditch call there from Eager. Just say, this is our only chance to win. Let's try and get it. Mollusk not able to finish off that left-hand Phoenix. That does make the defense for Eager a lot easier.
And now, but Cougar needs to get out to make this better. Kenshin gonna find credit for the kill, and now AirCougar, I mean, he's not gonna be back for 58 seconds.
Yeah, this left-hand Phoenix gonna fall now to DoctorL, just able to walk in and tank it a little bit better than Mollusk was able to. Yes, Eager hit the Fire Giant there, but they lose 2 members in the process, and then a third, and they lose their left-hand Phoenix. It was a last-ditch effort. It was a good call, but Aware was there, able to sniff it out, and now Aware should be able to look at the Titan fairly freely here.
I mean, it was a Hail Mary. I mean, and Dwurst still fighting, trying to find the cudgel on the Kenshin, trying to get one last hit in, but Titan gonna be able to live. It's at 94% right now, not gonna have too many issues. Aware Gaming gonna have to come back one more time.
So Aware electing to let Eager respawn there. Myflin had just respawned. Gilly had about 2 seconds left on his respawn timer. Once Boronic got there, it was just a little bit too late. They weren't able to go and finish off that Titan.
Yeah, but look where they're going, running right past this Fire Giant, or Gold Fury, and Cameron gonna be able to start it, but instead prioritizing the buffs.
Yeah, you don't need Gold Fury at this point if you're Aware. You are so far ahead. Every single member is full build outside of Kenshin and Boronic actually, waiting to finish off a Soul Reaver, it looks like, and he does have enough gold anyways. So yeah, you've got 4 members of your team, all 6 slotted. All of them have enough damage, enough items. You don't need the gold anymore. Just group up and just aggro the Titan. That's me. And make sure you get that, get it leashed, and then just use the Vulcan ultimate for maximum distance. It'll take out about a third of its health by itself.
Why would you leave that up though for Eager? They've already taken one objective, a big objective, the Fire Giant.
If Eager goes to commit to that, they're gonna lose to Fire Waves. Aware wants them to go and try doing the Gold Fury. Even if they're able to push up the waves fairly significantly, if they identify that they're on the Gold Fury, they're gonna lose their Titan.
Mollusk up in the air, waiting to crash on down, gonna find a target, and 2 members of Eager. Dwurst not taking too much damage, but Cameron coming in with the Cataclysm. Vulcan out coming through, taking a bit of damage, but Delta gonna find the kill onto Mollusk. The Titan's continuing to fall, 34%, and now Myflin taking out Kenshin, Delta taking out Boronic. That's a huge damage dealer coming through, and DoctorL is being forced out. Delta finding the kill.
That's 4 down on the side of Aware. The right-hand Phoenix respawns for Eager, but they're not going to get there in time, I don't think, to defend it from this massive fire wave. No, they do. This is huge for Eager. They push out Aware, get 4 kills. Now both of their right side and mid Phoenix come up. Cameron's going to fall as well.
Yeah, he's going to use that Sanctuary, but it's not going to keep him alive for long. Giliara being able to clean him out up. 35 minutes, 26 seconds in, 16-17. What looked like Aware Gaming's game has now flipped. Eager posting a successful defense, and now they've taken out every single member.
All right, maybe my call wasn't great. I've thrown many a ranked game trying to just dive the Titan when we think we should be able to finish it, but just grouping up a little bit too much for those AoE abilities, especially the Supernova and Stellar Burst combination out of Soul. We saw how it just tore through Aware right there. But the good news for Aware is that look at all the towers still up on their side. Eager, yes, they get the deicide. They respawn the middle and right-hand Phoenixes, and that's the most important thing, but they're not able to get a whole lot outside of that. Yeah, a tier 2 tower in the middle, a tier 1 tower in the right, but they still have to be very concerned about the potential. I mean, Mollusk could probably come in and kill one of these Phoenixes by himself. He's got enough penetration. They're only half health. He doesn't have to worry too much about that. It only takes 1 or 2 picks here for Aware to be able to go in and finish off that half health Titan.
And he has his get out of jail free card with the ultimate, able to just run across the map, go wherever he wants on the limbs of Yggdrasil. But Aware Gaming not going to take this laying down, already back in the enemy jungle. However, they are now one giant 5-man rotating pack.
This is what you have to be careful of if you're Eager. You cannot get picked by this roaming pack like you called it. You have to be careful walking anywhere in the jungle. We see the wards coming out. They've got a couple on that right-hand side. Surprised to not see more aggressive wards from Aware. They've got that bottom right side Harpy sentry'd. They've got the Fire Giant sentry, but you want deep wards into that jungle, making sure you know where every member of Eager is at all times.
DoctorL going to be picked out, but not going to really be able to do much damage to him, but the Meatball going to do quite a bit to the Xing 10. Boronic hitting like a truck. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Mollusk getting hit like a truck as well, having to come back in through the ultimate and waiting for him to come on down, but Myflin taking another Magma Bomb right into the middle of 3 members of Aware, and he's still going to be able to dash out.
Myflin is so tanky. He has so much HP 5 on that Xing Chen. Look at all the protection items. Even he has 5 items at this point. We're nearing 40 minutes. Even your supports are going to be 6 slotted. We see Kenshin is on the side of Aware as well. So just, you have to be wary of how much you're committing to a tanky Xing Chen, but we saw the amount of damage that a Soul Reaver can do off the side of Boronic. So as long as they've got that burst, they could probably kill him fine.
Fire Giant being started up, Dwurst zoning out, but Boronic gonna find a nice meatball, force him into the somersault cloud, barely by the skin of his teeth. Fire Giant has been leashed. No team really looking too prim or proper to take it. However, Aware looking very nice when it comes to the HP. Giliara gonna be on the receiving end of the Neith ultimate, dashing away safely.
Perfectly timed purification there, immune to knockups, which certainly would have spelled death for him if he was able to hit it. But that's another big relic cooldown that Aware is able to force. They got the ultimate out of Dwurst and the purification out of Gilly, as well as the meditation out of Dwurst. So this is a good stage for Aware to be looking to poke out Eager now because they don't have one of their 2 meditations and look towards this Fire Giant.
So what can Eager do now? Aware have lost their early game lead. They've lost any advantage they may have had when it comes to gold or experience.
So Eager just has to win the fight, basically. Eager has to win the fight harder than Aware do to win this game. If Aware are able to pick off two members, one of them being Soul, they can probably march down and end. But if Eager can pick up 3 to 4, depending on who they are, they may be able to march down the middle, expose Phoenix for Aware, and end the game as well. So Aware, yes, they have this gigantic gold lead, and yes, they had all 3 Phoenixes down at one point, but that doesn't matter now. Now, if they get wiped, they're gonna lose this game.
Kenshin used his ultimate, the Cataclysm, to try and lock down Delta Marine on the Soul. Unfortunately, wasn't able to find anything out of that. That is a huge teamfight ultimate that is now off the board.
It looks like Ratatoskr actually used his, there. So that, like you mentioned, another big teamfight ultimate off the board. Not able to get into the backline, initiate for free onto Delta Marine. And we've seen that be the primary strategy for Aware, identifying that he's the problem. He's the one doing all the damage on the side of Eager, so they have to be able to kill him first. We've seen Ratatoskr go deep for him. We've seen DoctorL look at him almost exclusively in team fights. So not having that means Delta Marine's a little bit safer, able to position a little bit more aggressively and get off some extra poke that he wouldn't have been able to had Ratatoskr had the ultimate.
We're getting to the bare bones of Smite. Everybody's got items. Everybody's the same level, essentially. It's just going to come down to how you play with your team and your positioning. It's not even about leads anymore.
No, it isn't. Like you mentioned, everyone has full items. Everyone has the threat of losing the game off of one big ultimate, one big, misstep or anything along those lines. This game is very, very close right now. Like I mentioned, Aware does have the advantage, though.
Yeah, but Mollusk crashing in, gonna try to find the first kill onto Dwurst, but he's a little too tanky. The windup, however, gonna pull Kenshin back into the members of Team Eager, but good Cataclysm gonna keep them off, but they're gonna keep going. Gilly gonna come through, and
oh my God!
Beautiful Vulcan ultimate, gonna eradicate, just obliterate Delta Marine. Kenshin gonna get caught up in Gilly's Typhoon, and then have to get out of the team fight. Pop that sprint.
Delta Marine was 3/4 HP and just exploded. Now Gilly gonna follow suit. The meditation from Dwurst keeps him alive for now, but it looks like Aware wants to chase him down. That's the biggest thing that you can do. Pick off Delta Marine and Boronic, a huge ultimate there.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to blink forward. Cameron gonna find Dwurst, which is big for Aware. Not so good for Eager. Kenshin barely getting out with his life, but Boronic, a nice tasty target. All he needs is one hit from Myflin, but Cameron takes out AirCougar in the process.
That's 3 dead on the side of Eager, 4 still alive for Aware. They're gonna push down this right-hand lane, looking for this right-hand Phoenix. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to end, though. Delta Marine, that fight lasted a decent amount of time. Delta Marine's gonna be coming up in less than 20 seconds.
Yeah, but here comes the wind-up. Not gonna be able to find anybody, but does burn the Rat ultimate and the purification coming out from Cameron. Myflin, however, just trying to stop, body block, do whatever he can. Nice knock-up coming through, but the Phoenix has already fallen, and Mollusk, even though he's low, isn't dead.
No, he's going to be able to get out. A Typhoon coming in, trying to catch Cameron, but a nice backflip going to be able to get him out of that. The middle Phoenix defended. All things considered for Eager, that went great. They lose Delta Marine, their biggest team fighter right now, instantly in that fight because of the ultimate from Boronic. There wasn't even any CC. He just hit him from a long distance. That is huge for Eager to only lose one Phoenix off of that. They had potential to lose the game off Delta Marine getting picked there, but they didn't. They only lose the one Phoenix, and now they're still, and even still, that's the right side Phoenix. If you're going to choose to lose a Phoenix, it's going to be that one because you're fighting around the Fire Giant. You're able to push out those waves and get to the fight faster than any other lane.
Your attentions aren't going to be split. Sure, your hands are tied now because of the fire minions, but it's better to be on this side than on the absolute other one where Aware game and you're going to be able to do whatever they want to this Fire Giant. A little bit of a slap fight coming through from the Geb and the Xing 10, but not going to go anywhere just yet. But like I mentioned earlier, this is just bare bones Smite.
It definitely. Still the same scenario, right? You're still able to lose the game at any point now. Aware has yet another advantage. Now, if they win a fight like they did last time, they've got 4 to Eager's 2. They don't have to try and only get one Phoenix. They could get multiple Phoenixes or look at the Titan just because of that pressure that having that right-hand Phoenix puts onto Eager.
And I think it speaks volumes about Eager being able to still defend after losing 3 members in that last fight. Aware lost Boronic. They didn't have Delta Marine early on. It's just the defensive capabilities, being able to just bunker down and do it. But speaking of doing it, Eager starting up this Fire Giant, but the Kenshin going to be able to come
again.
Boronic going to find Delta Marine again, and then find Giliara. The Fire Giant is still going though. At this point, somebody has to find it. CaMeRxN going to take out Myflin, and that's going to go to Aware.
This game is going to go to Aware now. DoctorL and Mollusk fighting down this middle Phoenix, going to turn directly to the left-hand Phoenix. Again, Delta Marine just explodes. The Vulcan ultimate, I can't believe that Eager was willing to pull that Fire Giant there because you know Vulcan's there. You know he has the ultimate available. You're never going to secure it over the damage of the Vulcan ult at that point, and then you group up and multiple people get hit by it.
Immediately pinching in Aware Gaming, looking to try and take down Dwurst, who's already forced into his ultimate Cougar, already forced back into the fountain with the Sanctuary. 44-minute game, and Aware Gaming take it.
Look, that was a well-played game by Eager. I
Yes.
mean, having a substitute is extremely difficult no matter how experienced the rest of the roster is, and we saw how much that experience paid off for Eager there, elongating that game far longer than it probably should have gone. But at the end of the day, that is a big misplay there at the end of the Fire Giant, and Delta Marine had the Sanctuary available both times whenever he got killed by it. Maybe thought he was going to be able to escape, but at the end of the day, Boronic just on point with the ultimates, and we see the game-changing ability that an ultimate like Earthshaker has, just winning the game for Aware.
And Disaparate isn't going to save you every time. It takes a couple of seconds to come through, so that's why you pick up the Sanctuary to beat off in that time. Go ahead and wait for it, and then go. But very strong showing coming out from Eager and Aware.
Aware definitely still looked good. We didn't see Mollusk have quite the same impact that he did last week, was near the bottom of the damage charts. But speaking of bottom of the damage charts, Dwurst and Gilly, both at the very bottom. We saw Myflin be the 3rd biggest damage dealer. Yeah, Xing has great poke damage, but those two need to pick it up on the right side of the map for Eager if they want to win game 2.